Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today you guys are going to watch me make a painting. It's been about a year since I painted something. We're only doing this oil on canvas, and I was really inspired by this Australian artist. Probably leave their name in the description, but they do a lot of chrome work. So today we're going to try to do a figure in chrome and some city backgrounds, some good stuff. I do have a professional palette. I just like to use the paper plate palette. It's very easy and just you can toss it when you're done. It's super simple, you know. I did not try to limit this palette. This palette's gonna be mostly black and white. And we already started here. This part is the body. A lot of fun doing this painting, I will say. It was a bit stressful at first because I got a little nervous, being that it's been a minute. I took a break because I was getting this strange hand cramp, like in the pinky area. It was just like cramping up, and then galleries have been mad slow. I did get to do a museum show in Torrance at the Torrance Art Museum this summer, which was really great. I had like just a painting in that, but it was a very nice turnout and everything. Thinking about this picture, I was really going for like a futuristic kind of look. I sometimes find it hard to explain my work to people, but this one is directly influenced by that painter in Australia, and I was trying to get across all the things that are kind of like been on my mind recently. You know, school, that's why the teeth are there, dentistry stuff, a little bit of like NPCs, because we recently did the whole NPC thing. They had that new Live 3 that came out. It was really amazing. I really love that thing. Love all music production, so that's a part of the top left corner you can't see at the moment, but it's there. Here we're dialing into the body and the chest and the arms. I did kind of work fast on the body part because I feel like the main center of the painting is what needs to be tackled, because that's where everybody's eyes are going to go first, the main figure. So that's one of the things that I like to get out the way first. And in this one, I could have chose to put clothes on him, decided to make him shirtless just to try to give more to the chrome effect. I think we're about halfway through with the torso. That is a part of the painting that I constantly went back and just added to, took some dark parts out of it. But I haven't really figured out a title for this piece yet. To date, it's maybe like, it's in my top 10. It's in my top 10 as far as like design goes. I am a bit rusty, so I'm struggling with some pieces of it, but so far so good. My brother here, he's like the movie making, video editing wizard, so he's doing all the edits and chops and cuts. It's really cool. Talk about goals. My goals with the whole painting thing is really like, I always thought of it to be something to do when I'm older. Like, instead of letting my brain rot and turn into nothing, I would just like be a strange old man painter that like plays guitar. Like, what I really like is there's this artist, Daniel Arsham. The way he lives life and the way he just curates all the places that he's ever in is always like really inspiring to me. He does a lot of sculptures and a lot of different like collaborations with like Porsche and Tiffany. He just kind of is all around, just his whole existence is just art. Yeah. I'm wondering, is this one of those pictures that people would want me to release a print of or do like a big poster of? Yeah. If you see me smoking in this video, please ignore it, for I am stressed out. Do have an issue with my attention span, just slightly, a little bit. It's hard to focus that hard on anything, really. Like, I find it that with production, it's easy because you can kind of like move real fast and like be done with something quickly. Something that takes this much attention and attention to detail, gets a bit stressful. We just started on the wing, and I decided to do the wings like this because there's always like the depiction of angels in all the very old paintings, so I like to try to bring some of the classic old masters work into my work currently. I used to always paint angels and warriors and things like that. It's like I always try to keep a little bit of that in my composition, because for us, history shows is like those things kind of stand the test of time, you know. And just a tidbit on like the angle I like to take is like Afrofuturism is just like an idea of not us in the future. It's really like a futuristic kind of like thought process. Like, what would we look like in the future, or what would be our like disposition, or you know, those kind of things. So I'm thinking like, if people do turn to cyborgs and we all half robotic, this is what I want to look like. I couldn't make the figure chubby for real, but it's like in my mind, this is what I would look like. I would have some wings, nice shiny wings, some yellows going in. I'm painting really thick also because, so I go to Michael's when I'm getting the stuff for this painting, the products, and there was no Gamsol at all. They stopped selling Gamsol. Apparently it combusts. Actually, it can combust by itself, but apparently that stuff causes fires. People been getting sick from it. Whatever the case may be, I should have ordered some, but at the time that I was deciding to paint and when the delivery would get here, it was not coinciding well. So for this, I'm using Gal Kid, which is kind of a thick, like, it's kind of like syrup, but just kind of, it does make everything dry a lot faster than Gamsol does, which is pretty cool. But at the same time, it's still my first time using it, so I didn't know when to add it, when to mix it in, when to kind of, so we're just kind of winging it. But so far it's coming out nicely. We're adding the yellow to the wings now. I think the wings were like one of my more favorite parts of the painting, just because it's something that you can always kind of oversimplify. Like, a lot of people like to do feathers and things like that really detailed and flowy, but I'm like, the whole idea is like, this is a metallic body. This is kind of like a Darth Vader of the future. Like, we're gonna make sure the wings looking sharp and metallic as possible, with like a yellow haze or yellow light being shined on them. But in this scene, it's definitely my pants. Those are white pants that I always paint in. It's a terrible pair of pants. We're about halfway through the wings here. I started to get a little lost on this part of the wing because it's just like, once you get in the groove, it gets real fun and comfortable. Rule of thumb when using blacks is like, you have to remember when you're making shadows and stuff like that, what is actually viewable to the eye. Like, is the eye looking at a shadow, or is the eye looking at a solid object? And that's something that with oil painting I think is very important to pay attention to, is the idea of, are you painting a solid, or are you painting a shadow? The whole concept, or how my teachers taught me, was always like, you have to see everything differently. It's not really like a hand motion or a specific skill. It's just, how are you viewing something? Are you looking at it from the light source perspective? Are you looking at it from the full shape perspective? It's like, what part are you looking at it as when you're painting it? And you have to keep that in mind when you're making images out of your head, because you want it to make sense. Like, if the light source is coming from the right side, then you want the highlights to be kind of showing on what would be the left side of the painting. If that makes sense. You have to think of it like a mirror, kind of. But we got to the bottom part, and I like recently to think about it as like, it's an abstract painting because it's a lot of different things going on. Like, basically it'll look like he's standing in front of a city
You keep going.
But on the other side, it's like also a sky involved. So we're putting the city in now, just 3 couple buildings. They call that like, I think it's second point perspective or 2-point perspective. It's really just making shapes and just putting them next to each other. I added a few windows just to make it look like it's a city, so it's understandable. On the other side, I'm starting a red beach, or I like to think about it as like where the beach and the sky meets and there's a planet there, just to add another like viewer perspective. Another thing that's really good in paintings that I think is like, leave some things for interpretation. Like, everything doesn't have to be perfect, because you can leave certain things to the viewer just for their imagination to go crazy and wild, or what the painting may be saying or telling, or the story it may be trying to convey. We're headed to the second wing now. This one I did find to be a bit more difficult, because the space that I left at the bottom that connects to the red sand beach kind of thing, the wings were too like short in the center, so I had to extend them to where it would kind of match the other one. I don't always want for both sides of the painting to match, because if it was like a realism painting, I would be like, oh, everything has to be matching and perfect and by the book kind of thing. But this one, it's like you want to leave a little bit of like wiggle room for later on, or just for viewing reasons. Like, and I will say a part of that does have something to do with how I drew it initially. I drew it initially on there in charcoal. After I spray painted the canvases, actually like me covering a canvas that like I got from a friend of mine, and he did a shoot. He wanted me to have this canvas that he got from Ross. It had a lady face on it, which was really beautiful, but I'm one of those people, like, if it's a canvas around, it has to have my work on it, my work only. So yeah, I think the wings tell a big part of the story. It's another thing about color theory, is like, if I made the wings red instead of yellow, or purple instead of yellow, or like dark blue, I think it would have insinuated that the figure or the person that I'm painting is like darker. It would have made it like a more moodier painting. But you add something like yellow, it puts everybody in the sense of like, what's yellow in your life? The sun, sometimes corn. Like, it just kind of puts you in a place of like, it's positive. It's a positive color, like McDonald's, fun stuff. We're headed to this eye. I really like to I'll actually tell you when I saw the pattern. There's this pattern. It's really like the pattern that comes from like a motherboard. It's like digital lines kind of thing, very matrixy. It's something that I love to do on paintings, because I think it just immediately makes it digital. Like, it'll just send you to a digital realm. And the first time I seen it, I was in high school, and I had a friend that was from the Middle East, and he got his mother's name in like Arabic, and around it he put the little digital lines. And for him to have been in high school when he was getting this tattoo, I was like, wow, that's really like interesting. And it's something that I've kept with my artwork since I saw it. I think I was 13 or 14 years old. And he immediately, the way he explained it, he was like, like, you gotta think like that's where we're going. And he was really into computers and things like that. So it's just one of those things. We are going into a very digital realm or way of living. This is my face. Some of the other paintings in the background I did a year ago, I'm glad they have stood the test of time. They look amazing. I'll put in the eye there. It's not like I just feel like you have to put a money symbol on everything. It's slightly the all-seeing eye in the pyramid thing, but it's like, I think of it as money. You gotta add worth to something. So that concept is really just like digital money kind of thing. It's a triangle, you put an eye on it, This part of the painting is the mouth. The artist that inspired this painting, they do a lot of grills. Like, they paint grills a lot, but not like a full painting. It's always like on the side somewhere in the top left or right corner. And I was like, it's a very cool concept to be able to just like paint gold teeth on something with a smile. I feel like it immediately just adds a bit of culture to the painting. Or like, I want to put a little bit of hip hop in everything that I do, just because like, I don't know, like I just feel like it needs it. Like it needs some hip hop. That to me was the hardest part of the painting, and it's still a part of the painting that I feel like is the weakest part, just because the type of brushes I was using, you have to like upgrade with every like step and level that you get to. And the part that I have been lagging on is getting those really fine oil brushes made of like horse hair, because I just feel like the prices of those are crazy. But I am feeling like after doing that painting that will be one of my next purchases. Very good brushes and another easel that's very good. The easel that I'm using is also something that's relatively, like, it's new but it's old. Like, we didn't open it until a week ago and we painted it, and had my brother put it together because it was just time to paint. I want two, just so I can maybe one day work on things simultaneously, like do a little paint on this one, do a little paint on that one. And truthfully, I feel like having an easel around, they just upgrade the room, just upgrade wherever they're at, and just make everything fancy to have an easel sitting there somewhere. It's just me like, oh, there's an actual painter around somewhere. But yeah, we're starting the rose. I feel like in my life I've probably painted and drawn 1 million roses. I think I'm at 1 million. That's something that I'm pretty confident that I can almost do with my eyes closed. I don't know why I drilled them into my brain like that, but I feel like they just work perfectly on any form of medium, any canvas, paper, skin, like whatever it is. A rose is just always perfect to do a rose. I think the first time I did one was I was apprenticing to be a tattoo artist, and that was one of the things. They were like, oh, you have to have like a perfect rose, so they made me draw a bunch. But then after I understood the concept of like, it's really a circle with triangles, once I understood that, and it's like, because no two roses are the same, you can almost get away with painting them any kind of way, and it just works. There's a few artists that, like, when I started, there's this guy named Leno. He would do these roses on purses and bags and shoes, and he was really successful for a minute doing it, and they were always really nice. And that's one of the people that I remember, like, he very strictly only did roses, and it worked really well. There's also this tattoo artist named Tana. He tattoos roses very realistically a lot. It's a staple in art. Shout out to Salvador Dali. You just gotta have a rose on it. I'm trying to master a color scheme that's like heat vision. And the one that I initially thought of, or that I also Googled, was it was orange, yellow, and purple. And from a distance, it's just like, purple is supposed to be the coolest or the hottest, one or the other. But I like heat vision, that color scheme. It's very like eye-catching, I'd say. Now, this is part of the painting. I never would have thought. I learned how to produce before I ever touched anything hardware, and I did not understand why everybody had all this hardware gear. The moment that I touched the synthesizer, I immediately knew, and I've been obsessed with gear ever since, because some things just create a sound that the computer can't do, and I want the computer to be able to do it, but some things are just in the workflow. And I'm putting an MPC on this because once again, some things just have to have hip hop included, and I just feel like that about some of my paintings. Like it just needs to have that rap influence a little bit, or at least like some sort of musicality to it. But I decided to do the MPC on it because they just discontinued them, and I was like, I could put the new one on there, but if I put the new one on there, it just, I feel like it makes it too trendy. So I put the one that they just discontinued. I think it's like MPC XSE. So I put that one on there because it'll basically put a timestamp on this painting. So even if the back of it or the date on it is at any given point in time, the date is incorrect, they'll always be able to place it between 2020 to 2025 because that's when those have been at their peak, or when they released to when they discontinued. Yeah, I had a hard time trying to make the black lines on there look like cables. That's what I was going for: cables, a laptop, a mixer, and the MPC. Last minute I decided to put like robotic arms and hands to be pressing the knobs and the pads. It's my robot finger. I'm dialing that in right now. At this point in the painting, I started to struggle because the paper plates were not holding up, and the gal kit started to give me trouble because the paint's thick. The paint thinner that I was using to kind of clean the brush off was like turning black, and it was starting to get muddy. So I knew that like, all right, I gotta start like getting the white straight out the tube, putting a little bit of black on it, a little bit of yellow, just to get a little bit of mix going on without doing too much on the plates that I was using. I like when the paint thinner gets black because it immediately does give your paintings like a different like look, gives it a little bit of bite and grain to it. I'd say like it starts to distort everything. This part of the painting I wasn't too stressed out about because I was like, this part can be a little abstract also, like it doesn't have to be perfect because the main shapes will help you understand like what I was putting there. It's only so many things with that like shape to it, with that fold up screen and everything. Last little touches on the robotic arm, super fun. If you look a little below that, you can see I added those digital lines to the eye. I always like that kind of, it's like the Matrix. I'm not gonna dial into the Matrix. I'm not one of those Matrix people. I do think that like there is a circular system going on, but that's for another video. So dreadlocks are the hardest thing to paint. Nobody's ever gonna say that because you think it's just put a glob of paint and a shape, but if you don't put enough colors in them, they look extremely flat, or just like Sideshow Bob. And if you just add too much, you'll be turning the hair all type of different colors. So I was like, let me use the darkest purple and blue if I'm gonna like show that the dreads are kind of maintained but not maintained. And then we got to the face, the last part of the painting. Faces are always difficult. Also, it's my fault again because I'm never using the right size brush. I randomly pick a brush and I just go, choose your weapon. Like, that's the one that's gonna make this painting. If it all ends up a little blurry or blotchy and the paint's kind of thick, that's just texture. I go about it like that, so every time that I paint is different. And I typically don't pull out 6 different brushes and things like that. It took a total of 4 hours to do this painting. At this point, I'm getting kind of exhausted. The sun's coming out. The strangest part about this morning was we had started at like 5 a.m. The sun wasn't out yet. And this is in Southern California. So as the sun came out, it was getting colder. Strange. Not getting warmer, getting colder. think this is the last few details we're putting on the face here. I did have a hard time making the face look chrome too. It's something that I'm gonna practice in the future and continue to try to do, because I really do like the style. It's like you immediately are placed in a futuristic world when you start making humans chrome and things like that, silver, just, and that way it's like a bit of just like racial ambiguity. You can't really tell what the person is, if they're chrome, silver, like gold. Just based on the hair really is how you'd be able to tell. But I just like that, and in the future I think that the whole skin color thing hopefully is slightly resolved. Also, not for this video, but anyways, we're just about there. This is the part where I'm adding fine details. Really upset about the mouth. I wanted it to look like either silver grills or like diamonds. I definitely needed a smaller brush for that, but that's okay. You can see the mess of the palette. It's insane. It's just all over the place. I need new jars, but we'll work on that when we get to it. This is like the ending stretch of the painting where everything just starts to brighten up and come to life. The finishing touches is what they would say. You can just see how muddy the white was getting from dipping in that jar. It's insane. A lot of professors have frowned at my technique for a long time. They never understood how I was still coming out with like good imagery. And it's really just, I know where to put certain things to where it's just an undeniable image, right? And that's it. It's really, that's it. It's like just making the image readable. That was something I've always like stressed, is like, I don't want to have to say words. I don't want to have to really explain what I'm talking about, thinking about. It's like you look at the image long enough, you'll immediately be placed where I am, just about. And that's like what I really think the skill that I have is. It's just pure imagery. And this is the close-up. This is the finished image. We still got some drying it has to do. Definitely gonna varnish it, make it a little shinier. I think that will help add to the effect. If you got this far, little 3-eye robot man, if you got this far, really appreciate it. Of course, subscribe. You know, watch me make music and stuff. Tell me what you think in the comments.